Starfield has just come out, and I just wanted to go through some of the recommended settings that I've seen online. Shout out to Hardware Unboxed. Someone like me, I don't have access to all of the hardware to test everything. I don't have a team of people to test the game and stuff like that, but they are very good at getting, all the tests done with lots of different hardware. They go into percentage increases of FPS versus any other settings and stuff like that, and they're very good. Highly recommend them if you want to check them out. But I thought I'd collate it together for a simple, easy, quick to watch video with all the best settings for the game to get the best performance and best visuals possible. For resolution scale, you want to go for 100% here. I think any game where you can change resolution scaling, it just kind of looks bad when you reduce the resolution to scale too much. Pretty heavy visual difference. You will save a lot of frames, so if you're absolutely bottom of the barrel hardware wise, then you probably have to, but last resort is reducing this setting 100% is probably the best one. For shadow quality, with their tests and with my experience, the low and medium settings have quite a noticeable pop in with shadows when you're moving along, mostly in forested and city areas, because that's where most of the shadows are. I would recommend high here. Medium is the option if you absolutely need some more frames, but going to low is definitely not recommended because that really does look bad. But indirect lighting, it's a bit unclear what this does. There's not a lot of visual difference, and the FPS difference isn't really there either. So set it to ultra, you may as well. Whatever it does, it might help, but it doesn't seem to make a visual difference or a performance difference. For reflections, there's about a 1 to 4% difference in FPS depending on where you are in the game. The visuals improve quite a lot. I would go high here, but if you absolutely need more frames, medium, but not any lower than that. Particle quality, there's not really much difference here, but it increases FPS by up to around 2% from high, so you may as well set it to medium here. It doesn't seem to make too much difference, so set it to medium, be happy. Volumetric lighting, there's incredibly small difference here. On medium, it gains about 2 to 5 FPS over high, and the visual difference is not that much, so may as well set it to medium again. Just save yourself some frames. Crowd density, this is one that I think makes a pretty big difference to how the game feels. It's not necessarily like a texture quality difference or anything like that. It just changes the density at which how many people are in the crowds in cities and stuff like that. I would set it to high. It's mostly a CPU setting, so if you've got a really slow CPU, set it lower. But I think it changes the feel of the game quite a lot, so high is definitely best. And it doesn't save you a lot of FPS anyway, so high is recommended. Motion blur. Ew, if you like motion blur, see a doctor, have this off. GTAO quality, this is basically ambient occlusion, the setting from other games. It's kind of hard to tell the difference until you get to low, to be honest, but the FPS difference between high and medium is negligible to non-existent, so you may as well set it to high. Grass quality, ultra. It controls how far away grass is visible, which isn't necessarily noticeable in heavily forested or city areas, obviously, because there's not any grass really. But on the open area planets where there's a lot of open spaces you can see quite far, it's very noticeable, very, very noticeable. And the FPS difference also isn't that high. Set it to ultra. Contact shadows, minimal performance impact and a very subtle visual impact. Set it to medium, save yourself some frames. VRS, should you enable it, should you not? It increases performance pretty minimally, like 2%. But through people's testing and my testing as well, you can't really see a visual difference. So set it to on, save yourself some frames. Depth of field, pick your favorite here. It's a personal choice. It only really affects the depth of field when you're in character dialogues. It improves your performance by about 3% by having it off when you're in those character dialogues. But really, are you really looking for really high frames when you're in character dialogues? Probably not, so go for pick your favorite here. If you want a blur behind people when you're speaking to them, put it on. And finally, resolution scaling. This is a bit of a hot topic because this game really misses a lot of the good resolution like AI upscaling settings like DLSS, and the settings it does have for the kinds of upscaling it has kind of suck. If there were better settings available, I would recommend using something like DLSS. There's a mod that adds DLSS, but I haven't tested that, and it doesn't seem like anybody else has done any heavy testing on it either. Just set it to off. The only other option I could say is any good is FSR 2 at 75%. You gain about 5 to 15% performance. It does look worse though. It just does look worse. There's no way around it. But if you absolutely need more frames, I would go for that. And that's all the settings for Starfield. If you have any other games you'd like me to do setting videos on, I'd really appreciate it if you let me know in the comments down below. If it's something people like, I will try and get the ability to do that and stuff like that, so let me know. And other than that, enjoy the game, go fly your spaceships, and have a good day.